Can nothing exist? Think carefully. Because if you close your eyes right now and try to imagine absolutely nothing, no space, no time, no stars, no you, the very act of imagining it means it's already not nothing. Someone is imagining it. Now try harder. Try to erase the one who is trying. You can't. The eraser remains. This is not a trick, you see. This is the single most overlooked fact in all of philosophy, all of science, all of human inquiry. Let me give you something to sit with. Nobody, not a single human being in all of history has ever experienced nothing. Not once. Because the moment you experience something, there is an experiencer, and the experiencer is something. Even in deep dreamless sleep, you disappear to yourself. The world vanishes. Your name, your memories, your body, all of it is gone. But here's the thing. You wake up and say, I slept deeply. I was aware of nothing. That sentence alone is the evidence. Something persisted. Something was there to register the absence and report on it. That something is the self-aware reality. Now consider the word nothing. It's a word. It's a concept. And concepts have a requirement. They need a conceiver. A thought cannot float in vacuum. It needs a mind in which it arises. So even the idea of nothingness, this abstract ultimate emptiness, is itself dependent on awareness to be thought about. This is the first domino. Nothing is not the absence of things. Nothing is the thought about absence. And thoughts do not think about themselves. Here is where it gets deepened. You see, this is the core of self-aware reality. And it's so simple, you will wonder why it's not everywhere. You see, a dream requires a dreamer. Without the dreamer, there is no dream. The dream is real within the dream. You feel fear, you run, you love, but the dream has no independent existence of its own. It borrows its reality from the dreamer. The wave requires the ocean. The wave is not separate from the ocean. It's the ocean temporarily shaped. When the wave collapses, the ocean remains. The ocean does not need the wave, but the wave needs the ocean. Light requires darkness to be seen. Sound requires silence to be heard. Every phenomenon, every experience, every thought, all of it rests on something more fundamental than itself. Now apply this to nothingness itself. Even the concept of absolute nothing requires a substratum on which it appears. A movie requires a screen. And that substratum, the one thing that cannot be erased because erasing itself requires it. That is the self-aware reality. It is the origin of all origin. You cannot ask what created the self-aware reality because it is the very thing that created the concept of origin. Its presence gave birth to origin. Origin is the thought. The self-aware reality is the ground in which the thought occurs. It is beyond origin. It cannot be in origin. It is what origin rests on. This is not mysticism. You see, this is not a belief system. This is one thing that you cannot doubt because the very act of doubting requires it. Now here is where it lands. You see, here is why this is not an abstract philosophy. If you are the self-aware reality, not your thoughts, not your body, not your biography, but the awareness in which all of these appear, then you were never a problem to fix. The entire self-help industry is built on a misidentification. It treats the wave as a broken and sells you the solution to fix the wave. But the wave was never the problem. The wave is just the ocean temporarily shaped. You are the ocean. And what about the fear of death? What dies is the form. The form was always temporary. The ground, the self-aware reality was never born and cannot die. Death is an event that happens within awareness, not to awareness. This is not a comforting story. This is a logical consequence of everything we have walked through. And what about the search of meaning? Meaning is a thought. Thought appears in awareness. Awareness does not need meaning, but meaning needs awareness. You are not missing something. You are the thing that makes meaning possible in the first place. And here's the thing, and I want to be precise here. This is not an invitation to passivity. It's not nothing matters, so why bother, and things like that. That's nihilism wearing a robe. The self-aware reality is not indifferent. It is the source of all experience, all love, all beauty, all suffering. The wave is real as the wave. You feel it, you live it, but you are not trapped inside it. You are the ocean watching the wave rise and fall. Let me leave you where we began. Can nothing exist? You already know the answer. The question itself is the proof. You are the self-aware reality, the ground of all being, the one thing that cannot be removed from any equation, because you are the space in which the equation is written. You are not even the thinker, and you are not even the one watching the thinking. You are that in which both appear. Understand reality only by turning your mind inward. You cannot understand this by listening to me or mailing me or reading books or hearing lot of things about it. You can understand the self-aware reality only when you turn your mind within and see things for yourself. A noise cannot understand silence by visiting people who have met silence. A noise cannot understand silence by mailing people who have met silence. A noise can understand silence only when it merges into silence. And that can happen only when noise stops being noise. And that can happen only when you turn your mind within. So ultimately, I will conclude my speech by saying that follow the message, not the messenger. I am doing all this social media just to make a living and for the joy of speaking alone. You are the self-aware reality, which is the substratum of all, on which all those things that we know or we name exist. And this is the truth, whether you like it or not, or believe it or not. Thank you.